Okie dokie. Here I am in, let me see if I can pronounce this right, Divisadero. It's Outlook, 44 kilometers from Creel. They have a hotel, probably 3-4 star hotel. That's about the best you're going to get in this area. Then they also have an eco park. Eco adventure park is what they call it. They have mountain bike riding, and they have a gondola that goes over the canyon to a structure that comes out of the canyon. It's like a small little mountain thing. So it's about a 10-minute ride, and I debated whether I should do this or not. I get the heebie-jeebies at the edge of a cliff, much less going over a cliff in a gondola. But I said, how many times am I going to get to the Upper Canyon to take a gondola ride? So I took it. It was 10 bucks. 120 pesos, I believe. And it was great. I'm glad I did. A little weird being above the canyon, and I know how the Mexicans keep their roads up. So that's always in the back of your mind when you're taking a gondola ride, hundreds of feet, if not thousands of feet, up from the canyon floor. So, but no problems. Thing ran perfectly. I'm glad I took it. Now they also have, for you guys who are really adventurous and really like to be scared out of your wits, they have zip lining there. And I've taken a few pictures. If you want to go to my blog, thebigmosey.com, you can take a look at the zip lining that they have. And then they also have a deal where you can sit on a chair and go the same place that the gondola does. I don't know if that would be called zip lining or not. I don't think so. I passed on that too, and I've got some pictures where they have that set up in the lines where they go. But could you make a day of it at the Eco Adventure Park? It would be tough if you weren't into hiking and weren't into mountain bike riding. They've got a restaurant, probably a 3 or 4 star restaurant there. But if you take the gondola ride, that's an hour. If you have lunch, that's probably another hour. And that kind of shoots it if you're not into zip lining or hiking, that sort of thing. So maybe if you are in Creel and you want to come out here, figure 3 or 4 hours, and you'll use up most of the stuff that they have available to you. But the canyon, I'll tell you, this area is just fantastic. Took a ride up to the second highest waterfall in Mexico, Divisadero, and that was really neat. That's a big waterfall. And in the canyon itself, man, every time you turn around, you're getting different vistas and different viewpoints of the canyon. Here I'm sitting at a conjunction of 3 different canyons behind me. I mean, if you've ever been out to the Grand Canyon, you'd love this. A lot less touristy. They haven't developed it as much, but they are in the process. They're tearing it apart. They've got roads going in, they've got water lines going in, they've got electrical lines going in. So if you want to see it before it's not really screwed up and basically torn apart, now's the time to come down here. The news about the border problems and the violence on the border, since I've left Juarez and Agua Prieta, I didn't even have any problems in those 2 cities. But here the people are real friendly, very helpful. My car's broken down twice while the alternator had that repaired. Then I had to have a belt put on. You know, let me think for a minute. 40 bucks to get a belt put on. In the States, it would probably cost $200-300 bucks. Alternator ran me about 40-50 bucks. The guy rebuilt the alternator in Pedopilas, which surprised the living daylights out of me. I didn't think he'd have the parts, but he did. That was pretty neat. But no problems. Been here 3 months. I've done some videos. People know I've got a camera. No problems. So don't let the press fool you. This area I'm at is probably 8 hours south of El Paso, Texas. What I'm probably going to do is I'm going to take the train on Monday down to El Fuerte, and then the following day just take the train back. El Fuerte is an old mining town, probably has some interesting things to see, but you know, how many old churches and how many old buildings are you going to see before you get tired of them? So I'll take the train back the following day, probably on Tuesday, and then take off to Hermosillo, Silo, however you pronounce the thing. I'll take off for that. I have to leave here on the 24th, which is, what, 5 days away? 6 days away? I'm sorry, the 25th I have to be out of here, so 6 days away. But nifty place. Rainy season. This season they've gotten a lot of rain. Rivers are high. A lot of towns are cut off. You can't get to them unless you walk in or walk out or take a horse. Food is reasonably good. It's a little bit hot for me. They like using jalapenos and hot sauces and that sort of thing. Salsa, they call it. Excuse me. You want to like to use salsa on almost all their stuff. A little bit too hot, but I haven't had any Montezuma revenge or anything like that since I've been down here. I've had 2 teeth pulled. One, well, they both cost me about $50. No problems with the dentist or anything like that. No after effects. So I've been here for 3 or 4 months. Like I said, no problems. Staying here until November, and then I'm going up to see my brother in Arizona. So good times. Having a lot of fun, and hope you enjoyed the video. With that, I'll sign off.